Hi everyone, welcome to another Python programming video. In this video, we'll explore essential debugging and logging techniques in Python. The main focus will be leveraging the SEP and END parameters, SCP and END parameters to improve troubleshooting and gain better insights into your code. So I have tried to divide this lecture. So there are three parts in this one. First part is for complex calculations, where we'll understand the use of SEP to debug complex calculation. Okay, first we'll try to understand that. The second part will be where we will, try to use END to format log messages. And in the third part, we are going to use both of these. So combine both for comprehensive debugging. Okay, so we'll do it like one step at a time. Fine. So let's first start with the first part where we'll understand the use of SEP to debug complex calculations. Try to understand, first of all, that when we talk about, debugging, data flow and variable values. So you need to have the understanding of data flow and variable values when it comes to debugging. It's very crucial to understand variable values and and data flow. And SCP parameter can be a handy tool to enhance your debugging experience by adding informative separators, right? So let's first see, uh, let's try to understand how you can do that. First, we'll try to use SEP to debug a complex calculation. Let's consider a scenario where maybe you have a complex calculation that involves several, intermediate steps. And printing these steps with separators can help you visualize and, track the process. So, for example, x equals to 5, y equals to 10, and z equals to 2. Then I'm taking another variable, result equals to maybe x plus y into, so multiply by z, and then we are going to print. Now see, when we are going to print, we are going to use print function. um we are going to try to show all the intermediate steps. So how we can do that? With the use of SEP. So first I want to show x, then I also want to show plus sign, comma, y, comma, and then we have multiplication sign, comma, z, comma, equal to, comma, result, comma, sep equals to this one. Okay. So in this example, we are using SEP parameter to add. Okay, let me write this one again. I forgot to put space here. So I'm going to put a little bit space, right? So I pressed space twice. You can just give one, right? And that's going to give you, different result. Basically, you will minimize the space uh, between these, numbers and operators. So we are using SEP parameter in this example to add spaces between the different components of the calculation. And this way, we can clearly see how the result is obtained step by step, right? And I did not do it, but I want you to try and even add the parentheses. So I want you to add brackets also, right? So try to use this method and try to come up with the result where you are able to see this bracket also, right? So 5 plus 10, and then there is a bracket, and then multiply and all that. Okay, so try to do that. Just like we are using this, you can use brackets also. Okay, so this is first thing. When we are dealing with complex calculations, we can always use SEP separator, and I've mentioned it in that video lecture also, where we are using SEP and N. It decides the separation, right? So what will be how will different variables or different keywords, how will they be separated in a code, right? So if I provide comma here after every number, so 5 comma plus comma 10 comma, like it will be like that, right? So this decides how these will be separated, right? So right now I provided one space, so you can see the space, right? Okay, now we'll see Uh, second part was using END to format log messages. Okay, now let's assume we have a function that performs operations and prints log messages at various stages. Now we can use END parameter to format these logs consistently. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So I will open another window and I'm going to create a file for this one, right? I'm gonna create a function process underscore data. So here first comes the processing. So it will be processing data and comma end, right? So you can write some data here, right? So some processing or something. And once this processing is done, you can print a message done. And like there are different stages of process, so we are just trying to print that only. So once the data is processed, it will be analyzed, right? So maybe we are analyzing the results obtained from processed data, right? And the entire code will be the same, and the last stage will be where data has been processed, and now we need to generate some reports or something, right? So this is done, and then here because we also need some data, so maybe we can have a list of 5 numbers, right? Data is a variable, list variable, and then we are going to call process data function. I'm gonna save it, prog. Okay, I hope it will, yes, run, right? So in this example, what we did, we used the END parameter, right? So this parameter, END parameter, to specify that each log message should end with a space, right? And it will allow the subsequent messages to continue on the same line, right? So this actually what happens is it results in a clean and organized log output, because by default this does not happen. But if you look at this output, it's like, right? So every log message, it ends with a space and it allows the subsequent message to continue on the same line. right? So for every function, for every step, this one. So because I'm using and here, so that means the next line, it will not go to the next line because by default it goes to the next line. So it will not go to the next line. It will be in the same line, right? And then after done, I'm not using any and space. So that means it automatically, goes to the next line. So this again in the next line, but after this one, I'm using and space. So that means next line will be in the same line, right? After done, I'm not using any and, any parameter. So again, it goes to the next line and hence the output. Okay, and the result is very clean and organized log output. Okay, so that is second use. And now let's talk about the third use. So when we talk about the third use will be when we are combining both SEP and END for comprehensive debugging, right? So again, let me create another file. Let me go to, another Python window. Let's see. So now suppose we have a function that processes a list of integers, but we want to log each step with separators for clarity. Okay, so how can we do that? Again, I'm going to go for a new file and I'm going to create a function. So let's say the function is, um, let's say process list, and we have numbers here, right? And then I'm going to print um, processing list. Be careful with these commas, and sometimes because when we are in hurry, sometimes we make minor mistakes, like maybe you'll put comma first and then you know double quotes and all that. So be mindful of their use where you're using them. So we are processing list, and then maybe we are going to get the address, star numbers I'm writing, SEP, then here I'm going to put comma, then after comma I'm going to use and, backward slash n. Okay, right? And then total, maybe there's another variable, sum. So sum is a function, built-in function, sum numbers, and then we're gonna print sum of the numbers, comma, total, comma, sep, and in sep I'm gonna provide a bit of a space, and then maybe we want to find average, total divide by length numbers, len. It's also a built-in function to find the length, and then so length for numbers would mean like total numbers, and then here we can print average of the numbers, comma, average, comma, sep. Okay, it all looks good. Now numbers list, because we need a list of numbers. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And process underscore list. And then I'm going to pass this numbers list. Right? So in this example, we are using SEP to separate the elements of the list with commas, and END slash n. You see, it is used to create an empty line after the list processing is complete, right? So we are creating, like by default it goes to the next line, but we are creating a lot of space. We are trying to create, now empty line after the list processing is complete. So this helps us visually distinguish between different stages of the function. So now I'm gonna save it, maybe prog1. Okay, let's run it. All right. Right. So usually, like if it is a normal code, it will not give enough space after the first line. But because I'm using um, /n/n, and maybe I can increase the number, and as I do that, I can clearly see the difference. So because usually, like if I say this is processing list, I would like to I would like the user to know that this is sum, this is average. So this creates a clear distinction between different stages of function, right? So that's how you can leverage the SEP and END, SEP and END parameters in Python's print function. So these two parameters, these both are used with print function. You can use them for better troubleshooting, debugging, and logging also. And by using informative separators and formatting logs consistently, you can gain valuable insights into your code's behavior, making it easier to identify and fix issues and errors. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow Python enthusiasts. If you have any query, if you want video on a specific topic, do let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email. Happy coding. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care.